side.
I wanna check out a few things. Just gonna go and pick up a few spots. Shouldn't be that long of a stream today, honestly. Stream, video, whatever. Whatever. What is this? A swamped crypt? Chanterelle. The Withers hideout. Thought I've already been here. This is where one of the crows was, you know? Yeah, it was. Bit of a one-way, isn't it? And it puts me out in the water. Let's try that crypt. know there was an island here. Swamp crypt, eh? Maybe it's the same place. Wow. The Worm Guard. Sentinel. What is this? Robbie from Grubwood. Robbie was just like you and me, and that's what made him the best. A friend of the poor and downtrodden. He showed the pompous fools where they belonged. Boy to Robbie of Grubwood. What? Another one, really? He's immune to frost? Look at his stamina. Let's do this. There we go. 13 Immaculates, huh? I honestly didn't think I'd spawn another one of him. Making him immune to frost, though. That's interesting. So the telly's there. I really didn't find anything, honestly. At least nothing I was expecting to find. 1 second. Because I've hit all the tombs, and I don't know where to continue for the DLC. And then I saw that there's a hidden location in addition to the tombs. And I thought that was basically apparently it's for some true ending, which I don't know about. I don't know about that. But this says it's up here. So I mean, I could try. I don't exactly know how I would get up there. I'll give it a shot though. So basically, I need to get on top of whatever wall this is. Not exactly sure how to get up there though. Let me try this. Okay. Apparently, you should take this instead. Alright, we'll run around and see if we can't get up there that way. This one, yeah? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Who is that? It's a human.
Stay sharp.
Fly.
Such a cheap shot.
Great bow. There he is. Recurve. Training grounds. Look who it is. Sup? What is this? Gather a memory shard. What? 2 memory shards? Crazy. What is this? That's what I was looking for. They told me about weavers.
Lost Prince. I was mistaken about our previous encounter. I erred in thinking I had unraveled what the Pale Lady had planned for the both of us. But I should have known better than to presume or anticipate the moves of someone as shrewd as her. You meeting me? As I mentioned upon your first visit, I thought it was just a coincidence. A fortunate weave of various events that, under a different alignment of stars and smaller choices, would never have come to pass. However, it turns out that I was meant to fulfill a specific role, and it was not to weave new life as I once believed. To weave bridges between you and her despair. Bridges that would allow you to gather the memory shards. She used me. Yet I cannot even bring myself to be angry with her. I see now that she seeks to restore the bonds that once were, before her world shattered and fell into ruin. She hopes that by restoring her son's memory, she will finally bring him back. The Pale Lady wants to put you on a proper path. Yet she does not realize how daunting and impossible this challenge truly is. But those driven by despair rarely measure their actions with reason. The pain of a mother who has lost her child, it is difficult to comprehend, especially for us. For centuries, we never had to face loss. And then only by gazing upon you humans, we had to deal with the idea of death. To live in a world in which everything has to die Such a horrible and terrifying thing. Places like this one, or the one where we met before, were chosen by the Pale Lady for a reason. On their own, they're nothing more than aberrations twisted by the weirdness. To bridge your reality and ours, someone had to weave the passages. That someone was me. In both instances, I believed all my efforts were aimed at weaving a new Fordweller, for the first time in centuries. But the truth was far from that. Since we lost the war against your kind, we retreated to Tuathan, severing ourselves from the rest of Avalon. All the while, the weirdness has continued to change. It has grown wilder, more untamed, and far harder to control, even for us. For centuries, places like this seemed lifeless, stripped of their potential. And then the spark began to return. It was then that I resumed my work. The Archspire was a bridge to the place where her son was born. In that cave, I wove the prints from the threads of the weirdness granted to me by the Pale Lady. They were resonating with great desire. It seems the place we stand in now was marked as the place where I had to create the next passage. I am tired, Prince. I am so terribly tired. I feel burned out. I can't weave anymore. I don't want to. Never imagined that such a moment could come. Oh, what a truly sorrowful thing. To accept that all things must finally fade. I did not dare to peer beyond my lost prince. I feel that what lies ahead is bound to a profoundly intimate and ineffably personal aspect of the Pale Lady. It is between you and her. Prince, leave me behind. I played my role in this spectacle. Hopefully that will grant me freedom. Farewell.
All right.
There's no greater joy than watching how a son, born of desire, grows. There's no greater despair than watching how a son, born of one's own thought, perishes. And now you stand here, hidden deep within, and even I cannot fathom what my heart feels. Still torn, for you are not wholly him, my son, my prince of Tuathan. Yet there is a flicker of joy within me, for you carry the soul of an Arthur, whose life was chosen for my son. This means the fragments of memory I gathered and kept safe may be saved. I want my son back. You walk your own path, yet you will be faced with choices. I hope that, among them, you will find a way to bring my son back. However, I cannot impose my will upon you. It took me a long time to understand that not everything should be demanded by force. I believe so. And you are already working tirelessly toward this, whether you realize it or not. Since my son's fate became entwined with that of Arthur, the King of Mortals, it is necessary to reconstruct the soul of the ruler whose essence you carry within your heart. You will also need the fragments of my son's memory, the ones I so carefully concealed for you to find. Beyond that, the Weaver may possess something helpful. His life-giving spindle. It may prove invaluable when the final trial comes. If you manage to find him, take it. He is no longer bound by the places I created for him, where he could work in peace. I have a feeling he may have returned to his workshop, deep within the forlorn swords.
Swords.
The heart, bleeding and plagued. A fragment of me, of my despair, accidentally brought into existence upon the homelands. My tears seeped into your soil, birthing a terror that became inseparably bound to your kind. The Spectre, the Red Death. Unintentionally, I could not have foreseen what such an entanglement of our realities would bring. I could not have known the depths of pain wrought by the loss of a beloved child. When it started to spread, I couldn't find a way to stop it. I am so terribly sorry. Arthur believed that abandoning the homelands would stop the plague. The Red Church committed truly horrific acts in their desperate attempt to halt the blight. Yet, no matter what you humans do, the plague will always return. It's like a curse cast upon your kind. And so, you will drown in my tears. It is a tale about the Prince of the Four Dwellers, who unexpectedly became the king of humankind. Arthur. We are connected. In the homelands, he heard my call from beyond the mist. It guided him to Avalon. I met him during his journey. I gifted him with the sword, the Spectre, of which you now carry within yourself. He is someone very dear to me. Someone I lost decades ago, whose soul found a new body in your lands. As you already know, we found a way to gaze upon the homelands. My son was fascinated by humans. Fascinated by your impermanence and fragility. When one has to deal with entropy and decay, everything suddenly gains far greater significance, doesn't it? You must have desired to live the life of a human. Perhaps it is one of the most powerful manifestations ever achieved by a Four Dweller. Oh, the Weaver. I remember the spark of joy that lit up his pale face when he saw what emerged from the threads of weirdness I gifted him. A living being, brimming with such boundless potential. So vibrant with life. He always had a fondness for my child. He called him the Prince. In the homelands, I saw a powerful thing that we Four Dwellers lacked. It was love, one of many emotions I had to learn. We lived in a world where everything was potent and possible. It made us live a life where we were drowning in decadence. I longed for something more. Our emotional structure was much less complicated than yours. You were quite an inspiration. Yes, I am fully aware that my will to bring Arthur to the shores of Avalon brought war and ruin upon my own kin. What would you have me say? There are no proper words for this. I will simply fall silent. Draw your own conclusions. Yes, although that was a horribly distorted part of me, living as if it were another life. Now I feel more whole. The emptiness is sharper. The sorrow, far more profound. One aspect of the potential of the weirdness is that it can serve as a tool. For that, I needed a craftsman. Someone who could sense even the thinnest threads of that potential as part of a greater whole. Every Four-Dweller could manipulate the weirdness to some degree. But not all did so with the finesse of the Weaver. He could harness that potential for something far, far greater, like weaving a new life, for example. My skills lay elsewhere. Among them was the ability to peer beyond the horizon of our civilization, to see a different world, a world without the weirdness, a world filled with meaning and purpose, constructed through intricate connections. A single living organism, yet full of individuality at the same time. I feel that sometimes you do not realize just how extraordinary your land truly was. Are you sure? If you have anything to ask, ask now. This may be our last meeting before the end of things. I am listening. Are you sure? This may be... So, it is done. I am glad my heart could host you. I hope you will succeed in reaching the goal you pursue. You leave this place with another shard. Use the memory of my son wisely. Farewell.
Archdruid vestments. Forlorn swords. Wow. Honestly, this part has given me quite a bit of lore. You know, kind of like explaining what exactly happened in this place, which is nice. I was curious. The ending we watched before didn't really explain any of that. It just said, oh, you get to be the new king with all the problems that have been plaguing this place. It didn't really change anything. Shiver wound? Curse? What does that do? Receiving unblocked damage covers you. Okay. Covers you in ice, I guess, for like a certain period of time.
The center
Freezing
cannot
your
hold,
food.
little prince. The fall, it is already here. Step further and see for yourself.
Is that you? Who is that?
And so you have arrived.
Is that him?
I look at you and I feel what you humans call resentment and bitterness. Lies and lost purpose. That is what happened. The Pale Lady managed to create places full of accumulated weirdness. I thought that those were gifts from her. For all those centuries we spent together. A vote of thanks for creating you. But no. After our second meeting, I grasped from the very beginning I was used. All my attempts to weave a new Foredweller. How utterly meaningless it all was. A place that was once my workshop. I spent decades here unraveling the secrets of threads of the weirdness. Eventually, I learned enough about the structure of pure potential to weave life itself. Before that, my kin emerged from the depths of Tuathan, born out of the chaos. We couldn't control that. You, my prince, were my greatest pride. The most beautiful creation I ever wove. Yes, it consumes me entirely. I feel like I want you to die. I regret creating you. I regret that you lived and still live. I regret that your death, Prince, was not final. Regret. So much regret. If you had never come to be, or if the Pale Lady had not desired to have you, none of this would have come to pass. She looked at the humans and wished to be like them. She wanted to be a mother. You too. Everything that has happened over the last 6 centuries, it is all because of you. It has to end. Me? I never wished to be part of something so vast. All I ever wanted was to leave. To gaze into the weirdness and try to understand it. I dedicated my entire existence to that pursuit. But one day, the Pale Lady came to me and asked for you. She set into motion a cycle of events that ended in tragedy. My kind were exiled to Tuathan. Your kind were bound to the myth of one man, the once and future King Arthur. This ends here and now. I'm deeply sorry it has come to this.
Block damage. It covers your weapon with frost for 10 seconds. Increasing damage dealt by 2% and chilling enemies. Critical damage. Casting speed. Shards, okay. So if I put on this Triskelion core, it should turn all my stats into 268. No. This is not how it works. Basically just swaps your mana with your stamina, and your stamina with your HP. Okay, so from my personal opinion, he didn't really... He had the power to change things, but really didn't use it effectively in any type of manner in order to really do anything about it. So he can be mad about being used, but he had the ability to do something, and he just chose not to. That's a perk, you know? Not everyone can swim up waterfalls, but I can. Alright, let's try the nest again. I'm not exactly sure what I need to do in order to unlock this thing. Do I need to hit the gong? Do I even have a gong? Yeah, I don't know how to unlock it. I don't know how to unlock this gate. Standard issue warbow. Any goodies? Calling blade. War club. Superior bow. Grey sword. Silencer. Stamina regen. Champ spear. Forlorn axe. Red death greatsword. Muskgrass. Cooling axe. I have a few of these actually. Gem of dodge. A brain. Let's bank these. Alright, I gave it a good resting. I don't know. And it died? Awkward. Questies. I've got no idea. No idea. Kind of gave me an idea of where the Red Death came from though, so that's good.